All right, so let's do the review. So what does the ALU in the data path do? And how does the data path deal with the fact that we have the same instruction and we're using the bits in different instructions for different things? So some of them we use them for choosing a register and some of them we use for encoding the value. Well, let's start out with what does the ALU do in the data path. And to understand what the ALU does in the data path, let's take a look at where its output goes. So if you see here, we have two outputs. We have the result and we have the 0. It's drawn pointing into the memory here, but it doesn't really go there. So if we follow where it goes, one of the path goes here, it goes all the way out around through this mux and back into the right data on the register file. So this here is calculating the result. This is when we do an operation in the ALU, such as an add or an or, an and. Now let's look at the other outputs. The other output, it can go straight into the address of the memory. So this is when we calculate the address for the memory. So in a load immediate or a store immediate, ALU is going to do an add and it's going to calculate the address. Finally, the last output here is the 0 value. And the 0 value is using for calculated if or conditional branches. So the ALU is doing three things: calculating results for the register file, addresses for the memory, and conditions for the branches. Now, how does the data path deal with the same instructions being used for different things? Well, remember, here's our formats of instructions here. You can see that in some cases we use these bits to specify a register, and in some cases we use to specify an immediate. And how we do that? Well, we look at the opcode. Depending on the opcode, we can figure out if it's an R format or an I format. If it's an I format instruction, well, we're not going to use this third register here, and instead we're going to use the immediate. If it's an R format instruction, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to use the third register and not use the immediate. Now, in all of these cases, the bits that we're not using, they just go somewhere, but we don't do anything with them. So if we're not using this third register, it may go to the register file, but we won't use it. Or these immediate bits, they may get sign extended even if they're a register, but we just won't use them.